Hey guys, Lord here, back in with another action figure review. Today I'll be taking a look at the long-awaited Mattel Creations exclusive Masters of the Universe Origins Dragstor, brought to us by fine folks over at Mattel. I did say it was a Mattel Creations exclusive after all. Well, you're not paying attention again. You silly goose. What are you doing? What are you doing? But at any rate, this was a long-awaited character because unlike that blasted werewolf bastard we looked at earlier, he is actually a vintage toy character. He is from the original Masters of the Universe line from the 80s. A lot of people wanted this guy. I actually just sold my vintage Dragstor to a friend of mine this past fall, and, well, let's just say I paid $10 for him. Paid 3 times that for this, and, well, was it worth the price? I'm gonna say right now, no it wasn't, because characters like Extendar and Webstor and even Mantenna, who's got 4 freaking legs that are fully functioning with all the articulation you could possibly ask for in an Origins figure, and not to mention they did that twice because we got him in cartoon collection. Those were all basic releases for like $20 a piece, or less. Some of them were 15. So the fact that Dragstor here is dang near $30, yeah, that sucks. And I know people are going to be like, it's the tariffs. Of course the freaking tariffs. But that jackass isn't going to have a good 2026. But at any rate, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look, see what all Dragstor has to offer in terms of accessories, starting off with these little flame effects that plug into the engine on his back here. Like so. So it looks like he's blazing down the highway. That's kind of cool. Then we get the typical Horde crossbow. It's the same fraggin' Horde crossbow we've seen a million times already. But this one's like more of a black color. And push this down and it springs forward. Fun times, isn't it? And then we get what I guess makes him cost $30, this ripcord here. Which doesn't even have a handle for him to hold, so you can use it as a whip like the Classics version, which we will compare him to in just a moment here, because I am going to slide this in to the best of my abilities. I'm actually going to pan this camera down. Good enough. I'm going to see if I can showcase him zippity-doo-dahing across my review set. Now, it'd probably help if I tilt his head up, move his arms up, tilt his ankles back. You know, let's just bend his knees. That'll be easier. Bend his knees. Ready? There he goes. Hopefully you saw that. If not, we'll do it again. We'll do it a couple times. How about that? I'll treat you, because it is the last reviews of the year. Alrighty. Do that again. Grab a hold of his torso or something. He does zip across the floor pretty well. One more time. And there you go. The gimmick clearly works. He was cruising. But Yeah, I gotta admit, that gimmick's a lot more fun than I thought it would be. Take these out just so they're not in the way. But I'm gonna be honest, I still don't think he's worth no $30. I think that's a little crazy. But the gimmick is mildly amusing. Mildly amusing. Am I being cynical? Absolutely. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. So let's pin the camera back up. Because we have one more accessory to look at. It's not really an accessory, but it is. But it isn't. That is going to be none other than the mini comic, which is exclusive to this figure. So Masters logo on the back. What's inside of it? I'm going to show you. Gotta get your own. Haha, I bet you thought I was going to spoil it. You are wrong, sir. But before we take a closer look at him, let's move him over. Bring in his Classics counterpart, courtesy of my good buddy Evil Villain, as are most of my classics that are original characters. So we gotta pan the camera up again. You can see his head. There we go. And as you can see, very similar. They actually aren't that much different, other than the Origins has the wheel in the stomach, whereas this guy, it's just a chunk of plastic attached to the armor, which does kind of suck. They should have given him the wheel, but one thing he's got that the Origins Dragstor doesn't have is a waist twist and an ab crunch, which does work for what it's worth. This guy also has a little teeny tiny ankle rocker. The only thing he doesn't have are wrist hinges. So you'll have to decide what is more important to you. Is the wrist and ankle articulation more important, as is the ripcord gimmick, or is nicer sculpt and paint and the ripcord being turned into a whip best for you? Personally, I would have liked the ripcord to have also been a whip, but it would have been very small and wouldn't have given us that 10 seconds of fun we had just now. So it is what it is. But as far as articulation goes on this version of Dragstor, his head can look up and down, tilt side to side. It is kind of loose, so be mindful of that. Shoulders will pop out, back down, forward and back. Single jointed elbows with rotations, swivel hinge wrists, which don't even really need to hinge because he doesn't have weapons to hold like that. Nothing in the waist, as far as I can tell, which whatever. But his hips do kick forward and back. He's got a swivel in the knee, single jointed knee with rotation. He's got a boot cut, and then hinge in the foot with the rocker joint, and peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So very cool. I mean, it's Dragstor. It's nice to finally get him, but I have to say, I think I'm more looking forward to the Masterverse one with the crazy wheel hands and stuff. I think that one's going to be a little bit more, maybe not as fun, because the ripcord gimmick, to its credit, isn't bad, but I would have preferred something else, you know? But it is what it is. It's accurate to his vintage counterpart, so I guess there is that. But bringing in our two regulars, we have the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibilith, right? Yeah. And the infamous 11 Spawn, right there. And of course, while he may be a card-carrying member of the Men in Red and Black Club, good old Al Simmons towers over everyone, as he should, right? So with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and despite the fact that I still don't believe that good old Dragstor here was worth the price of admission, I am very happy to have one of the final pieces to the vintage Evil Horde lineup. The only ones left being Multibot, and of course, if you count them, That is Mantisaur and Catra, who was released in the Princess of Power line. That said, I am still very much looking forward to seeing what the Masterverse version of good old Dragstor has to offer, since this one left me with, for lack of a better term, a bad taste in my mouth, if I'm being honest. So, with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.